Luciano Pavarotti, welcome to Australia. It's wonderful to have you back here.
Thank you, sir.
It's just a pity that it's a farewell tour.
Well, everything comes to an end, and that is the end. And I am very, very happy to being able to put Australia in my farewell tour.
It's been a fantastic career. It has been an incredible career. I was at the old Her Majesty's Theatre for a performance of L'Elysée d'Amore, and you were singing Nemorino in 1965. It was a matinee, and Margrethe Elkins sang with you, and Spiro Mallas. I remember it very, very well. And I thought, who is this bloke? And this beautiful lyrical tenor singing these lovely arias. And I thought, gosh, this is a fantastic voice. And there were a lot of other people who thought that too. And it was just a few years after your debut in Reggio Emilia, wasn't it?
Yes, I made my debut in 1961, and I arrived here, called from Ricky Boning and John Sutherland, in a tour, 1965. I was 30 at that time, exactly 40 years ago, because now I'm 70.
We are the same age. We both celebrated our birthday this year.
Really?
I turned 70 in May.
Bravo, my compliment.
Bravo. Happy birthday for October.
Bravo.
No, that was a remarkable tour because people didn't know you, and now, of course, you're so incredibly famous, the world knows you. But there was this young, extremely handsome young man coming on stage, looking the part and singing with a delicious, sweet voice. We hadn't heard a tenor as nice as that since Tito Schipa on record. You had the same lovely lyrical quality, I think, to your voice. It was a fabulous... And I dug out some old press clippings, and one of the reviewers said that you were mobbed by a bunch of schoolgirls after one of the matinees.
It's not true.
Well,
it's
maybe they
true.
Exaggerated that.
No, exaggerated for sure.
But what was true, was wonderful, is that you actually took Sutherland out after a performance to the Apia Club in Leichhardt for a supper.
Yes, I remember.
I've got a photograph of that, which I'll show you later.
They took me there. They took me
the club?
there. Yes.
Oh, that was wonderful. Of course, that gave you an enormous association with the Italian community here. The career really took off after that, didn't it? I mean, you know, you suddenly entered Cloud 9, and your debut with the Met was soon afterwards in La Fille de Régiment. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, La Fille de Régiment is much later. When my beginning, and the reason why I was here in 1965, is that in 1963 I sang in Covent Garden in London. And it was a very good success. And it was a very good success the Sunday night in Palladium. Millions of people saw me, and they did like me. These young, like you say, this young tenor, I don't know if it was handsome, but certainly I was very
good looking.
I was very young. From there, I went to many other cities until I arrived here. After I've made already my debut in America, Miami, 1964, and here I arrived. And the most important thing for me here was to come here to learn. I have a contract of 45 performance. I think $400 performance. I don't remember vividly. But it was a lot of money for me. I was building a house in Modena. And the total of the 44 performance was covering almost all the house. So when I left, I say to the guy who's selling me the house, I give you 1 million lire, who is 1 million lire is $100,000. If I don't come with other money, you keep it. If I come with other money, I will buy the house. So I go with other money, I arrive at home, I buy the house. I almost finished to pay the house, but it was an incredible... I was there like that to call the house Australia. But
you should have called it Australia.
No.
We'd have been very flattered if you'd have done that.
Yeah, well, I have in my mind this, and you are in my heart, like that.
Tell me about the tenor voice. I once read an article, I think it was in the Sunday Times in London, where you actually talked about how extraordinary and exceptional it was to have a tenor voice. Of course, your father had one, and that you I think, said that a high note, when you got ready for it, was like a controlled scream, I think was the word the phrase that you used.
Yeah, it is. Let me control my scream. If I'm going to sing to you, then you are on the other side of the table. I sing not loud, soft. if I have to sing to somebody who is 50 meters from me, I have to sing louder. That is the reason why I say scream. You have to scream, absolutely, with education, with control, and the tenor has particular difficult 3 notes. Then they can be done with caution. But anyhow, you have to produce the voice. This kind of a scream control, probably, I would say that is the excitement of the voice of the tenor. The tenor is always risky. It's always like going on the lot of the bridge, at the top of the bridge. You never know. At the end of the day, of the night, depends when you sing, if you are well, big applause. If you are not well, people shut up or some other they complain. I was very lucky. I was very lucky, 44 years of profession. And in these 44 years, I did have 2 or 3 bad nights. They told me because they booed me.
They're very unforgiving audiences.
Yes, well, when you go high, they try to put you down.
When you in Fi de Regiment rolled out those 9 consecutive high Cs, in the audience, there was a total frisson in the audience.
Yes.
Was it exciting for you to be able to do that?
It was very exciting,
effortlessly?
absolutely, extremely exciting, because I did not rehearse these in the room, not even on the stage. Mr. Bonin told me, because I told him, Ricky, let's go down like all the other tenors has done. He says, no, let's try the dress general, the dress performance, 10 o'clock in the morning, Covent Garden. In front of the orchestra, they did not hear this before. And here I am thinking that I have to force myself to do, and I control my brain. I cancel all the fear. And I say, okay, think about the athlete that you were when you were on the starting for the... I did. And the orchestra was very happy because they applaud. They stopped to play, they applaud. And it was a bet with Richard Boning. Then I'm very happy that he won the bet. And I have to thank him for that.
Am I right in thinking that you have a somewhat wicked sense of humour? I remember seeing a performance you did at the Met where it was Tosca, and where Tosca sings Ma fagli occhi neri, you went back to the portrait and you put 2 black dots in the eyes, which I thought was a very cheeky thing to do.
Kind of, yes.
Those sorts of roles, like Nemorino and Tonio, really suited you. You had a spirit with them.
I think I am a country poet, poeta contadino. I was born on the country. I was born probably poet because my mother was a poet and my father was a poet. Poet doesn't mean somebody who writes poetry. Poet here, inside the heart. And I did have a very, very good poet's education, as I was a country boy. So a very attacking when I was playing football, always trying to have the best in the tackle. It was good. It was good, and what is important for me is that I have made this profession always with my power, with my choose of opera, meeting people important, intelligent, and they always drive me for the right place. The singer is breathing yoga with the yoga system. And the yoga system is involving the diaphragm. I did sing like that since the beginning, since before, but never cautioned. It was because I was an athlete, and so, but the moment I arrive on the stage, some notes come out very well. The same notes in a different night was not the same. I say to myself, there is something not perfect there, wrong. And the wrong thing is that I did not use the diaphragm right. In the tour with John Sutherland here, I learned it.
And how did you learn it?
I just observed it.
You observed her, yeah.
Incredible.
Your recorded repertoire, really, you and Sutherland are linked together like ham and eggs in a way,
Yeah.
and this incredible series of
Let's
recordings.
say Decca, London Records, it was practically made from Tebaldi and Del Monaco. And when they retired, John Sutherland and I
Took over.
Took over, yes.
Is there any singer you would have liked to have sung with? I mean, any singer, past or present, that you never got the opportunity to sing with?
I was almost singing with Callas twice.
Yeah.
That is a regret. That is the only regret. For the rest, I sang with all the lady.
Dramatic actor too. I've seen you in dramatic performances as Edgar in Lucia de Lammermoor.
Yeah.
And you conveyed, as well as your mischievous side, I think you were also a very sort of true singer in terms of the way you approached the role. It's a very Italian thing, of course. Sometimes it can seem like play acting with some of the characters that are a bit cardboardy, but you often gave it a huge dose of reality, I think.
I think yes, because I'm not thinking to act. Even if you see a concert now, in the concert you see what I'm thinking, if I am involved or not. Doesn't matter, doesn't mean that every night I'm involved. But by the time the television come on the court to play with us, it is a big advantage because the television explore my face. And exploring my face, you see the truth of the expression. I was not a great actor moving on the stage, but in the face, yes, I was.
Did you always ever approach a role as though it was true? You didn't think this is a silly role and I'm doing something silly. I have to believe.
Don't exist anything silly in music.
You have to believe in the character.
Yeah, sure.
And do you have a favorite composer? Is Verdi your favorite?
Well, let's say, operatically speaking, Verdi. Symphonic speaking, Beethoven. Totally, and we mix these two together, Mozart. That are my three preferred composers.
And tell me about the directors you've worked with. You gave some wonderful performances that I've seen under Pornell, you know, the famous Idomeneo that you sang at Salzburg, and which was wonderful.
Elixir of Love.
Elixir of Love. And you also filmed a fantastic Rigoletto in Mantua with him. Yes,
exactly.
Was he
It was a great experience. To work with him was a great experience because you always have 2 or 3 ideas, alternative. If you like this, you do this other way. If it come good out, what he says, then you choose.
What about others like Zeffirelli?
Zeffirelli is very good too, excellent.
Do you think the producer has kind of taken over in opera and they're now demanding the impossible of singers?
Let's say, if one of them does that, doesn't mean that everybody does that. Franco Zeffirelli never did taking over like that. He was always super elegant. And the performance of Zeffirelli are still around the world. Pornell is dead, but some of them, of his performance, they are around.
Still, the productions exist.
Incredible production.
What is there in the air of Modena that should produce Luciano Pavarotti and Mirella Freni and maybe balsamic vinegar?
Well, let's say my father.
Yes.
Let's say probably relatives of Mirella, who has the voice. And we like to sing, we like to go to the opera. It is a small city, there is not much to do there, especially when I was young. And so we go to the opera to hear a singer, and they come very famous singer, just for one performance, but very famous. When I was 12, I was alto, singing in the boy choir, and I asked to my father, please, I would like to hear Beniamino Gigli, then he's coming to sing Lucia. And said, can I talk to him before? He said, yes, come tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning he's vocalizing, and so I go and I hear this phenomenal voice, vocalizing everything possible, forte, piano, diminuendo, falsetto, every little detail was there. He sang for 40 minutes. And then he come down, and this little boy, they say, I am a alto. Do you think I can become a tenor? And he says, yes, definitely. That is the general movement, except me, he says. Then he was a soprano,
Was he? Oh.
and he remained a tenor. And I say, how much did you study? He was 57 at that time. He says, I just finished 5 minutes ago. I was 12. And I understand that until you sing, you have to study. That is a very, very important lesson that I learned.
You should never be smug about what your talent is or your technique.
No.
And tell me about other experiences and other influences in your life that you count as major milestones besides your father and that encounter with Gigli. What other turning points?
Well, let's go in the second part. We work not much, but very consistently with Maestro Karajan. Bohème, Butterfly, Verdi Requiem Alive from La Scala in commemoration of the 10th anniversary of the death of Toscanini, and many other things. I have done Tosca with him, and fortunately for him, the last performance that he did in Salzburg. I have done other Bohème around. I think at that time they asked me, what do you think about Karajan like conductor? I say what I'm telling you now. The conductor are divided in two, Karajan and the other. At that time, more than now, because now there is a good, very, very, very good team of conductors around the world.
That Bohème and the Butterfly that you recorded with him are just sensational. They remain great favourites of mine, and I think they're probably
definitely
top of everybody's pops.
Bohème definitely, for sure.
It would be very difficult to find a cast of that quality today, wouldn't it?
No, I don't think so.
So do you think nowadays in opera we perhaps put up with something that's not quite as good as it was, or do we always looking back at a golden age? You at Gigli, we'll be looking at Pavarotti.
No. The golden age in this world is coming with you, which means that if you are young and you are good, you become a star. Which kind of star is different to say, because today the young singer doesn't fight like we did fight with Mirella Freni and me. We did have 20 singers in front of us, and we were the best of the young, but still we have, I can name 25 tenor, first rate, and 25. So that you will tell me, how did you work to come out like that? And the answer is, I always choose the opera and the other were not able to do. Rigoletto, Sonnambula, Elixir of Love with Voice, and many other. Lucia with John Sutherland.
Do you think that Italy is producing the singers it once did? I mean, I look at the stream of wonderful singers that were available.
At the time in which I was growing, yes. Because at that time the language was very important. You know, it was a soprano, an English soprano, then he was not coming to Milan because he was not able to pronounce Italian. Now, no. Now all the people are singing, and you hear very well the Italian pronunciation.
Do you think they're as idiomatic as an Italian might
Well, one
sing?
thing is that if you are involved, you know what you say in this precise moment, and you make it sound like that, and you have time to think about what it is the real truth.
Is there anything that any Everest that you haven't climbed? You've sung all the roles that you think were perfect for your voice. You've reached audiences all over the world. You're a household name. Is there any element of a career that you might have wanted for that eluded you?
Of the career, certainly not. I cannot ask more than that. I sang even pop music with the greatest singer of the present, and it was a sensational experience for me, beautiful. They write beautiful music, much better music than the serious music of today, because if you sing the music of today, if you write the music of today in the way it was written in the past, you are old. You are out of space, out of the pop singer. They can still talk about art, about it's much more audacious in the going to the romantic.
And what do you plan to do now you've finished your world tour? I can't see you sitting very quietly somewhere or other. You're too big a personality for that.
What I do is I'm teaching. 1961, the 29th of April, it was a young elementary school teacher who went on the stage in Reggio Emilia, and he became a tenor.
You?
Me. And now I go back to teach. What I'm going to teach, not to elementary school baby, I'm going to teach to the singer, to give to them all the experience I did have, and trying to be tough like my teacher was. Both of them. I did have two teachers, both very tough.
In your reflective moments, what do you think of as the highlight of your career, the finest thing you ever did?
But there is always 10 years even in the best. If you open a watermelon, the middle...
There's a good slice in the middle, yeah. And that's when your voice was at its most beautiful, perhaps, or persuasive, or...
let's say aggressive.
Aggressive?
At a certain point, it stopped to be aggressive, and it was more thinking.
Well, Luciano Pavarotti, thank you very much for giving us your time, and not only for giving us your time, but also for giving us the wonderful gift of your voice over so many years. And thank you for being with us on the program.
Thank you very much.